Suddenly I've collected a lot of information about spending. And I think this sort of awareness is important because throughout Max Stats episodes, we can only increase our awareness. Awareness of what is possible, how quickly can you get there, if it's worth doing in the first place. We are long past that idea of just like growing muscle. Yeah, you have to be comfortable. That's like a supreme priority. Look at this pathetic max stats 6. And people get stuck on this thing. But if you stack the entirety of like what we're trying to be aware of, there's so many things. Building muscle only would make you a pathetic human being at this point. Because obviously the first thing I would ask you, what are you going to do with the muscle again? Just feel better, feel more comfortable? Maybe that makes sense in the social situations where you're always being abused, but then you're still just being comfortable with that. You're almost better off being the leanest, the most fragile person ever because you'll develop other senses, so to speak. You're better off being blind and developing other senses in a way. That's how it feels like with muscle. Why do I call it out in the episode where I talk about spending? Well, first of all, you spend awareness, you spend time on things, and when it comes to max stats, people get sucked into this vortex in particular because it gives them nothing if not negative things. Now, exercise is amazing if you do it perfectly. Perfectly. And it's usually down to stretching, basically. Down to feeling free. But the exercise circle is tiny. And after you do exercise, you need to do more. You need to open many, many more circles of awareness. First of all, is freedom of movement. Everyone tells nerds and insults to touch grass. You should be able to do that fairly easily, but you definitely don't have to listen to anyone saying anything unless they don't care about unless they do care about you and it actually matters. When someone says touch grass, that shit does not matter. That shit is pointless. What is not pointless is opening a window to have fresh air in your room. That is not pointless. You must have maximum amount of fresh air in your room. And enjoy the air as well. Don't let yourself suffocate. Don't let yourself get cramped into a chair next to a screen and all of a sudden you fucking wiggling like a worm trying to find the perfect position. The perfect position is standing up. Then you get significantly more tired faster and you can use it at your advantage because being tired is actually a good thing. Those things we already discussed, funny enough. And that the more time you have to spend, the more time you have to spend for self improvement, that could also give you more time to spend. Unfortunately, this is an exponential problem, which bumps into very, very finite obstacle called 24 hours. You know. So it's not really that exponential, because two exponents basically kind of cancel each other out, and it's more like a linear thing. And even that gets canceled out. So you can only shave off and become more productive. But technically, it is still exponential in comparison to other people. If you shave even 10 minutes, those 10 extra minutes can continue giving more time and making you more productive, and you can squeeze more things into the time that you spend. Obviously, I'll be talking about money, unfortunately, because sometimes you're gonna get sucked into a vortex called slavery, and you don't want to do that. So it's best to avoid it. Now, obviously, I'm gonna talk to poor people because I will have to assume that most people are poor and they have to save money and not spend it. And even I myself will make up my own minds of like there's new AI technologies and they offer you all kinds of shit for all kinds of prices. Is it worth subscribing to shit like this? And so far I'm realizing one simple thing. Unless the product is perfect, and if it's perfect, you will still not need to subscribe because it will give you so much stuff for free that it's completely pointless. Completely pointless, guys. A perfect product you would want to use either for free or you get one-time purchase and you're fine. And I've already found places where AI is like so free. So free. And obviously the more you get lured into shiny things, the more people will attempt to extract money from you. You know, they will set up traps because that's all capitalism is, my friends, is about putting you in a trap zone and extracting money out of you. So it's best to just stop doing what you're doing, reject most of the offers, and tell yourself that you have mental illness if you're trying to go across the trap zone to find something fucking good for yourself. Nah. Most really good offers will come to you. They have actual legs, they have actual motion and spread. And also ask for a very long-term commitment as well. It's kind of like you can join any community you want. Card gamers, car racers, as long as it's not too exhausting and expensive. Again, you don't want to join Scientology by accident because it's pointless. Self-improvement is about awareness and anyone can become more aware. In fact, you're going to be a lot less aware if you're paying a lot of money and you're sort of in a cult-like situation where Scientology members probably feel like they're better than everyone else. And that is just kind of a waste of time. Yes, you are better than everyone else, better than 90% of population, because 90% of population sits in the fucking corner of self-improvement. They don't do shit. They don't do shit. I don't think it's 90% of population, actually, but 90% of people you will encounter, they will treat you like this. They will treat you from a perspective of they are a baby and they want milky. And you don't have milky, so baby will cry. And baby will throw things at you like insults, you know? Alright, cool. Cool, bro. Cool, baby. I'll leave you behind, little fucking bitch baby. Some people actually attempt to talk human language and will still collapse into a fucking baby. Because, oops, you know? Their mind slipped. They shamed themselves back into a baby form. Like, I've seen this shit. It is actually mind-blowing. People now have the power of language, communication, and they still collapse that into, let me throw an insult and let me just get rid of that superpower. I don't like it. Next to you and like spending time with you, that's crazy. But that's because of shame. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not a fucking bad guy. But other people are bad guys, and they try bad things in order to level up. You know, it's crazy. And this doesn't stop there because I'm level 4 now. I am 1 in 1,000. Right? Like, the rarity increases 10 times. I'd like it that way. Every step of the way. And even small achievements like building a family will increase your rarity into 1 in 100. Because even if you make a family, you are likely to collapse into a divorced husband. And it's just like, you can't handle the family for very long. Most people have done that. My parents have created a family, they shit out me, one child, and everything collapsed. And my parents sit comfortably here. 1 in 10 people still. They're not totally evil or bad. We can actually talk to each other at birthdays, at special occasions. But they are they're still trash in comparison to me. Okay, although I don't want to be evil about this, so let's move on. Yeah, shame is a powerful thing. Shame is just like a fucking lightning strike that can hit you so hard. Shame is one of those Pikachu moves. But this is what happens technically when you surrender to evil, surrender to temptation. Imagine you become a broke ass bitch. And now you suddenly wake up with $0. Your life is going to be miserable. You will be less likely of being capable of creating a family or holding a lot of self-esteem because now you're playing a completely different role that you're not ready for. Being at $0 is a completely different lifestyle than being at the correct amount of survival amount where you continue to learn the skills, you continue to shave off expenses as well to make sure that you are better off every single day. You're a little bit better off, and you have to find sources of like cheaper and cheaper food and maybe even move out from these fucking urban areas into villages. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes to lower your expenses because your expenses is a day-to-day business. Do you understand that? That every single day you spend money. Every goddamn day you spend money. And even I myself have to slap myself on the face of like, damn. And people will want you to subscribe to things and forget about things as they drain your pockets is the most brutal thing. Or make you susceptible to spending. To open your pocket and be like, hey, I'm definitely giving you something valuable. There are special occasions, special expenses, special treats you can give to yourself. But the funny thing is, you are so much better off exploring and then downgrade that to exploring what you can do already and which ways you can actually improve yourself and what pile of gold you already have. Improve the worth of things you already have and don't chase things that are just uh, all over the place, which is called a lust. Trying to find special something also is a waste of time. Let's not forget that. I am dedicated to AI a little bit too much, but because I am, I will be able to find what I'm looking for because I'm dedicated to the internet as a whole. This is my hometown, the internet. This, right now, is the current mindset that you should never hit a $0. You should never go in debt. You should never run out of resources because that is the most bottom line of absolute disaster waiting to happen. And guess what? Every lottery ticket you buy, everything stacks, everything drains you. Secretly, you might end up Just reaching that line, and all of a sudden your life can cut off from circulation. You could bounce back, but with just like $10 missing, you might get magnetized to the rock bottom. You might fall off. And you might even lose self-esteem that will just gravitate you to the rock bottom forever. Who knows, man? Any kind of disaster can happen. And it's best not to allow that shit to happen. Not to allow failure. That's the most important thing about self-improvement, is to disallow failure. I would say like it's a number one rule. Yes, you will make mistakes. Yes, you will make them over and over again until you find a way to escape this failure. But just don't allow it. Don't allow it to drain you. Don't allow it to just stick around just like a fucking cockroach running around and just eating shit. You gotta defeat failure. Because failure is in a lot of places. You don't have to stretch yourself too much. Again, just save your goals. Because the biggest failure is not that you didn't pick up this thing. The biggest failure is that you didn't protect this, and then you didn't flourish what you already have. Right? While most people are chasing crazy things and they get more subscribers, they get more attention, they run too fast, they hit a wall, and they crash, they burn, they make mistakes, they make failures, they allow failure to happen, and this is why most YouTubers are doomed to fail. You know? Most people in general are doomed to fail. You're much better off trading away your time of learning how to remove them snakes from the board before those snakes pull you down through progress. Lost, basically. You go back to the same squares. You wake up with a fucking headache because you drank too much alcohol. And then, you start saying, here we go again. Just like my, not ex, not even an ex. Just, a lady that I almost dated for one day, you know, almost. Not considerable because we were not alone talking to each other, facing each other, basically. She was busy with a child, so it was already a toxic fucking date, basically. You can call it a toxic date, I guess. That's as close as I went to dating, bro. I just got a toxic date. There was an intermission in there that she created. Fuck, I lost my train of thought, though. With these exes, you know? Well, we talk about snakes and failure and all this drama shit as well matters. Because drama be extremely sneaky. And the best way to win drama is to not participate in it as much as possible. And then collect reason and just like give some answers and just move on. Acknowledge things, basically. Just build that awareness and stay cool with drama. Like, YouTube is gonna amplify drama to some like extreme levels. Because people have weird and twisted intentions and they want superpowers. Again, I live on YouTube and I get that this sort of YouTube exclusive experience of how people are becoming like power hungry creatures right now. More and more they gravitate towards politics, towards semi-complicated issues to talk about. Although the best thing to do is just stay cool. You know, if you can help someone, you can help someone. If you can live a better life, live a better life. But you gotta keep cool, you know? The moment you're sucked into drama, you're almost guilty of just being inside drama. Against your own will, even. This is one of those things that will fail you. It is very difficult to win this because a lot of people want to win this. It's a nasty competition. If you can stay cool, like even I lost the dramas, guys. I don't lose arguments, but I can lose drama because I was like young and I had to face real life problems and like old people. And like my mom was toxic, right? So I was kind of like uh, sucked into a lot of drama, and there's still one ongoing right now. I don't know what to do with it. And I'm just like praying to the gods that there is actually light in the end of the tunnel of just waiting for better days. Because right, or just for things to move around. And then my awareness like somehow comes into place, and, or I deserve nice things in the end for putting a lot of effort into learning properly. And what's happening right now, like people are concerned about money, people are not concerned about testing each other. Like we would like to have more workers, more specialists that are in correct places and working as hard as they possibly can, and they are aware of maximum things. And ChatGPT is gonna make us more productive, right? All this AI shit is gonna make us more productive. It's gonna disqualify uh, artists from doing their shit anymore. We're supposed to be extremely more productive past this point. So prepare yourself to ride this wave. It's so important that you ride this wave successfully and you do become more productive instead of just allowing brain rot to enter your life and weigh you down because you don't care. I don't. Why would you watch this video if you don't care? Yeah. If I can entertain 90% of population, I'll be fine. If I can entertain the babies, I'll get a lot more views. It's not easy though. You know, it's just not easy to constantly entertain babies. I think I talked about AI and all that shit. I try to like explain like in great detail in like 4 directions. Yeah, the most dangerous thing you can do is repeat yourself. Even though repetition is important, you you can only do it if you shrink information into something smaller, something more reasonable, something faster. But what? I'm gonna re-listen to this thing. It's interesting. Escape from. It is weird that all this technology does not give us good life. It does not give us good life because the money's still missing from our bank accounts. The moment we are more productive is not good enough, but the moment we are off the shackles, even some of us, we're off the shackles of monetary confinement. That's that's what it is, dude. This is why you have to be just carefully spending and just going into the future. You're better off just like if you can find ways to earn money, that's absolutely brilliant, right? For me as a cool person, I have to just wait into the future and try to, stay active, stay positive, consume whatever is given to me for free, so I don't have to worry about things that are not free, right? Worry about what is already free or very cheap. That's what you should worry about. Because the opportunity is always slipping through your fingers of you can play this game, you can watch this video, you can pirate this movie because there's no fucking way you're gonna subscribe to Netflix, are you? Crazy person. Find ways to make things free and let's just go into the future together and it's just like don't get it attached to traps and flourish the things that you already have. Make as many things as free as possible. Because it does seem like there are traps, right? Like if you try to focus on what is free, you're going to be developing better principles. And what does better principles mean? That you will spend better quality time, you will improve yourself faster. Principles are everything. So a good thing is redirect your efforts to free things, and you're potentially gonna change your principles for the better too. Be more careful, more protective, more aware of your finances, less fatigued by your finances, and maybe even more generous, and you're gonna open up some fucking unexplored situationships, because this is the thing that will liberate us all. If you can bring us back from loneliness, if you can reconnect two people together for a certain amount of time, that shit's priceless right now. That shit is a question mark, because connecting two people is good, but connecting them over and over again, things get that much better, because people don't know how to do that. They are more likely to reject than to accept. They are more likely to stay than to allow things to change. And they don't have enough unique ideas to help things change, to push the change forward. They can't make up. Most people can't come up with cool ideas that we can live by, that we can achieve. They just go to nearest scientific paper and say dopamine. That's how you know. That's just how you know, bro. It's crazy. The shit that I just had to live through. One video. One 9-minute video. But if it's brain rot, if I have to react to it, I will rage so hard. I was able to barely escape that. Brain rot is going to be just as dangerous. Alright? The $0 dead zone was dangerous. But so is the brain rot. Alright? We are ready, guys. We have discovered this word, this phrase, but you don't understand the significance of brain rot, dude. And how you must never give up, basically. So many people will do so many crazy things, like you will receive 100 phone calls a day. You will see flying cars that you cannot possibly have. You will see hot girls come up to your door and knock on your door and just leech information out of you, basically. There's so many crazy things that will be happening, not for your benefit. You know? I don't even understand the future, basically. I can't even read it, because it's full of brain rot, and it's like, if you try to understand the future, wow, you're already way too deep into it. Even using AI is starting to turn into brain rot bullshit. You know, trying to control it, and it's like, well, brain rot works when it's sexual. That shit helps, you know, but otherwise, it doesn't work very well. In day-to-day life, it don't help. You rot your brain down to a nugget, and now you can be controlled like a puppet, basically. Being homeless, no one's gonna value you anymore. People treat you like shit. But when you brain rot yourself, people treat you like a puppet, like an ant. But a controllable ant. Not just a fucking little tiny insect. More like a pet, right? Pets rock. If you're just a baby. Pets rock. Anyways, so that's the future, my friends. And we don't have that much time to transition, just 3 more years. And this is like old news. how to reduce your spending. And I've talked about it. You know, the biggest thing right now is panic because you have to escape rent. Rent is usually the biggest expense for no fucking reason. This privilege, this strap of having roof over your head is crazy, dude. It is crazy. You have to literally repurpose your life in a way that you would be comfortable paying some crazy little amounts, like even living in a car. But still be happy. Please be happy doing that because the future is going to fix everything. It has to. You know? You still have to have hope and have a very loud voice. Even if you had to sacrifice a room, a roof over your head, live in a car, you still have to be loud and proud and happy and all these things because the future still has many things to offer, including brain rots. And because we need more brain rots, here's this newest SpongeBob meme that I found. I really like it very much. Why you don't like SpongeBob meme? What is wrong with you? You should like SpongeBob meme. This is the newest one. Internet will literally be like this, bro. But most importantly, internet will attempt to be interactive and slow down. Slow down to a halt, to a crawl. Because it will like capture, it will try to like circle you out of like what kind of level of interaction you like the most. And it will start giving you game after game basically to play. And it just like slowly fucking untangles you. If you don't give up to brain rot, then the world will play with you, but be like, this guy doesn't fucking turn into a piece of fucking shit, basically. So that's a future problem to deal with, but I love having this vision, having an understanding of the future's really cool for me. Of the dangers of the future, especially. And right now we're in like a critical mass situation where you really, really have to ramp up all the good decisions, all the good financial decisions. You cannot slag back. You cannot fucking lay down your pennies, bro, in the wrong location. You have to have everything intact. Because if you want to go through this portal, it will cost you. Every single dollar it will cost you. Imagine that. Imagine having $1 too little to be able to jump through into a fucking heaven on earth, basically. Oh, I can't afford it. I need one more dollar. Imagine that situation. And it's like as real as it can get. During the apocalypse, the inflation has risen. The uncertainty has risen. All the fears, all the fucking weird things, all the support Ukraine, give me money donations. The refugees suppressing you, basically. From every side imaginable, everyone is getting, like, more suppressed financially. And you can't let that fucking sink your ship. For me personally, I'm in a very interesting, like, upwards trend. Yeah, but I still have to tighten myself and really carefully think, is there more I can improve? Because there's always something. It is crazy. You just have to think. I don't even have to tell you anything because I'm not specific enough. I cannot tell to anyone, switch banana into this fucking powder. I don't know. That's way more better, like rice or something. You know? Switch banana to rice. I cannot be overly specific. But I can definitely say the things that helped me, right? Here's the one principle that I see. Celebrate when you're thirsty. Obviously, I haven't finished. But strategize when you're hungry. These two things. Oh, and I love the idea. I don't think I mentioned this, by the way. I don't like donations. Because you can always donate to the nearest person, who is still willing to be your friend. You can still donate to them. If you know how to establish donations, send them $10. If you really want to be fucking generous, send the person close to you $10. They can send it to someone else. But this is, you're supposed to really appreciate the thirst. And as I've said, don't drink water. You're not to drink water. You have to mix in something, a flavor. You have to be prepared. You have to buy a bunch of syrups and all kinds of fucking shit to make your water actually drinkable. Because otherwise, it's just plain water. It's just gonna fucking turn you into a flavor. You're not gonna get much out of it. You're not gonna feel good drinking plain water. At least I can't. Alright? You might have a magic trick somehow up your sleeves. But flavor is just so easy to do and is so straightforward. But the most important part is that this is half and a half, right? Half of the time you're going to be hungry, half of the time you're going to be thirsty. So if you can enjoy being thirsty and satisfy the 50%, you might be less hungry, You might be extra hungry if you're also thirsty. You might start eating things. As if, like, the hunger would take extra space while you're thirsty, Well, at least I imagine you have to separate that within your brain to make sure that these don't mix, that they don't trick you, basically. I'm definitely not hungry right now. I'm just thirsty. But I will drink as much as I possibly can. I will enjoy that moment, which might make me less hungry. That's the whole point. Because it's the food that costs the most, not water. So enjoy being thirsty, my friends, because that is as free as it can get. And 70% of your body is water, so technically you shouldn't be hungry if you're thirsty. At least for the time being. You can actually defeat hunger. Defeat world hunger by focusing on cleansing your thirst first and foremost. And almost like provoking it and testing, are you thirsty now? Can you drink more water and more water? But your body has to give confirmation, thumbs up, basically. Obviously, one good advice is big cup. That will help, because you don't have to turn it into a fucking chore of dealing with small cups. I feel like my mom is unhealthy and eats more food because she does not drink enough water. And that it literally feels like that. I'm not sure, but she has tiny cups. She drinks coffee. It's like, what? Where's the fucking water in your system, bro? And she feels like she gets sick because of that. She's more vulnerable because she doesn't drink water. It's disgusting. And she doesn't want to change because she's a fucking weirdo. Bruh, you celebrate. You can drink milk. Milk drink, anything. It's great. As long as you put flavor, you're going to be happy. There's so many drinks to choose from, right? Just make sure they're cheap or distilled with more water, right? Can I see this? I don't think I can see that. Diluted? Alright, that's fine. Dilute your drinks as much as possible. And so you can celebrate it for longer without spending too much money. Because drinks can turn into an expense, and I do not recommend that shit, because that will ruin your life immediately. Alcohol is the #1 killer of human beings, of human species, basically. And I do not recommend that happening to anyone. Again, even if 90% of humans die, as long as they're babies, we're not gonna feel an impact. If one queen dies from the chessboard, we're fucked. You know, until we get the new queen. We're fucked. Humans are fucked. Humans will feel the wrath. It's just like not finding like a correct president for America is pretty bad. It's very, very close to like a doomsday scenario. Not finding a queen is next level of apocalypse. It's eternal apocalypse, basically. Now, why do I just switch onto that? I'm just saying, like, most people are stupid, and it's just like, let them be stupid. Doesn't fucking matter. You're probably not gonna save them. You know, 90% of human beings are stupid. And unfortunately, the smart ones have to find their way through the maze of stupid people and find each other. If you are watching to this point, why are you silent? Why are you just sitting there consuming my content? You have to engage. You have to do something. You have to upload your own video, post comments, raise your fucking hand and ask questions. Do something, bro. That is a crucial situation right now. Don't be a part of this group of people. Don't get sucked in. Because in here, not only 90% of human population can die, but it kind of wants to die. You know, it kind of will feed you all kinds of depression, basically all kinds of mental illnesses. Don't be a part of this fucking group. And this is, again, what's going to increase your spending. If you're surrounded by shitty people, by leeches, by traps, you gotta distance yourself away from what other people tend to do when they're stupid. Like buying lottery tickets, drinking expensive drinks. Distance yourself from these fucking stupid habits that kill human beings. Like you can clearly see, it is toxic. It's crazy interesting, though, that I can, like, dissect this pattern from a completely different angle. Okay, I have a pretty good advice on top of everything. Find a good example. I'm not a good example. I don't have social media to show you a good example. People live their lives, though. And I picked 4 new exes to become no longer good examples, but they're interesting to look at for the time being, right? And interesting to think about and fantasize. You gotta find good examples, you gotta follow them, and again, it's free. It should be free. It should be easily accessible, and we have social media, that means it's easily accessible to find a person that you admire and that live an interesting life. Not a luxurious or flashy life, but someone that you can relate to on a spiritual level, I guess. That you would be attracted to and happy seeing their every move. This was inspired by fire personality. Water personality is like really, really strong. I guess just the wind one is kind of like lackluster, but it's still kind of fun. It's fun in your brain clicking a button and saying to yourself, I kind of own a relationship with that person, even if they don't know about it. It's like, well, you can still be the biggest fan, have it her or him as the biggest crush, right? And follow an example of anything you can learn from them is also a very valuable lesson. And while you're doing that, again, you'll find yourself doing something free. Something that don't cost no money. You're not buying someone's OnlyFans in order to get a good example. No fucking way, dude. Don't give in to the lust because That's what it is. Lust is just throwing money where it doesn't belong. Mm-mm-mm. Who knows? Maybe in the very, very end of the apocalypse, we're going to be like putting down every penny out of our pockets in exchange to the newest, the best currency ever. We're all going to be equal in the eyes of the beholder of like, how much money do you have right now? Let me see, let me see. I'm going to exchange it to this new currency, dude. It's fine. You know, I went as within my country through a currency exchange. We had our native currency that turned into euros basically. You know, European Union took over, changed a bunch of countries, native currencies to euros. It happened, guys. But I had to go through that process. It's not that interesting of a process. Any amount of cash turns into a different currency. But it's a lot more interesting if it would become a global phenomenon, right? So even if you have excess amount of money, not only this money should go towards the future, by all means, and the moment you have enough for your entire future, guess what? You can chill. You can finally relax. You don't have to self-improve anymore. When you don't want to. You don't have to run in the fucking hamster wheel tirelessly. Just relax. Just enjoy the fucking ride. You have unlocked the infinite potential of life by actually having enough money for the future. Whatever lifestyle you locked in, good enough, dude. I'll tell you that much. Good enough. Because again, most of the good things are free. And that's a fucking Taylor Swift lyric. And you better fucking listen to that shit. I think $100,000 is good enough to lock in a future. You also obviously have to be feeling completely safe where you live. There shouldn't be a progression of evil basically surrounding you, which unfortunately is happening to me, but it's apocalypse, so I'm kind of letting it slide, you know? Letting it turn into an adventure. And by the way, I really believe that I've done the impossible. Like in most self-improvement moments, it is full of cheese. It is me saying things and nothing happens. But right now, after making 25 videos, I'm like, we did pretty well. We made progress. I opened my mind even a little bit, but I felt progress, and that's all that matters, and it adds up every day, you know? Knocking out any daily activity, improving any daily activity, your daily routine improvement, everything changes because of that. The rest of your life changes because of the slight improvement in the routine of how you eat your food, how you spend your money, how you spend your time. Where do you focus your energy? Adopting tiny but powerful principles change everything. And you can just keep doing that. Keep pushing yourself until fucking you can't take no more. You had enough. You can't find anything to improve anymore. And hopefully that kind of happens. And the series just kind of like naturally die, and it's just like the most beautiful thing. It does feel a little bit already like that, like I'm a fully liberated person. But to kill this feeling very quickly, alright? It's lust. Like, the moment you want to spend money on anything, it's lust. Car, unless you're improving your life, it's lust. And there's so much lust going on, and like all these people are just supposed to be dead to you because they are losers. It's crazy. They should only lust to secure a future and to make friends. What are they doing, right? Shame them. Attack. Don't let them live a shitty life. Constantly shame them for making mistakes. You have to fight. You know, you can fight 1,000 men, for you are super gorilla. And I'm talking about 1,000 men at any given time. You know, at any given day, any given rounds, you're fighting 1,000 men. That's what I can say to myself very proudly. And that's what I'm doing. Being here, being capable of level 4 activities, dealing with 1,000 people at once throughout the day. Imagine. Shame them for doing stupid shit, for spending money in the lustful way, for having too much but not sharing, not finding value outside of the bounds of their own existence. They're just stuck in the bubble. You know, pathetic human beings. Don't use them as an example to what you can actually achieve. Because you're going to be ending up in the most beautiful scam ever called crypto scam. The most beautiful scam. It's like, I know how you can make money. You just have to give me money. And I will teach you how to make money. And then they're going to be like, wow, you gave me money. That's how you make money. You just ask for money and lie to people. That's how you make money. All these fucking weirdos, man, they make money in twisted ways. Obviously, there's enough good people that send you forks, spoons, plates, and other equipment to be able to live your life. They send you good shit. But the basic bitches, they don't make nothing, they don't create nothing. They just trick other people into giving them money for a fucking stupid reason. And that is also just as disgusting and not being generous. A lot of people are selfish. A lot of people just are not worth paying attention to. What's coming up next? Lies and scams. I will actually unpack this even more. I have a whole fucking matrix of lies and scams. Oh, look at this shit. And I almost made an episode about this, but it kind of lost itself. Travel to the past to become stronger. The funny thing is, you live towards the future. You leave crumbs behind. A lot of people feel nostalgic and try to like recollect these crumbs. But if you don't attach meaning to these crumbs, if they don't empower you, what's the point of being nostalgic? If they don't make you cry, you know, you haven't achieved anything. You just revisited the past for whatever the fuck reason. Just because you have the past doesn't mean it's precious. Doesn't mean that just by remembering things doesn't mean that you actually evaluating them in a new way. You have to relive with your new capacity to relive experiences. Always try new things. It's a very basic shit, but maybe I can make things work out of just one saying alone, right? Feed layers of yours. I don't know what that means. I don't. Well, technically, throughout the day, you are hungry in many directions. Food hungry, money hungry, relationship hungry. You have to feed yourself in so many directions that you have to become efficient and fully aware of what those things are and how they split up into a tree of things. Because again, just eating food is not enough. You become thirsty. What kind of food? What kind of nutrition? You know, how to think about food. It keeps branching and branching into cooking, into being aware that the biggest ingredient is wheat, And you have to avoid wheat at this point. Just buy one wheat product or something. Even just feeding yourself actually is already a crazy twisted direction. There's like more directions to go. So yeah, the pasta is powerful tool. This is a very interesting episode. It's gonna be. You're guilty for not asking. This one is the most insane one as well. So I'm ready for many, many more max stats episodes to improve myself even more, and hopefully you come along and you subscribed, right? Jesus Christ. You're guilty for not asking. So many things you can learn from ChatGPT. You can read it as a book. You can spend time actually improving yourself instead of lustfully unlocking fucking loot boxes in some game. My friend, anytime you can force yourself into self-improvement, there is nothing better you can do. This is the end. And then you will never be a broke-ass bitch. No matter how apocalypse shakes your body and shakes resources out of you and fucking empties your pockets. No matter what happens during the apocalypse, you'll pass through without getting yourself hurt, and we're gonna be living happily ever after. Okay, living through like very disgusting experiences, but we will remember them as, well, they had to happen. Because someone had to die. Because they want death so. What is happening? Why do you want to die so much, bro? Why would you do that, bro? Stop.